We're shifting focus for now. First came the war games with tanks and troops, and then came the message, clear and direct from Kosovo's leadership. And finally came the warning, but not from the West, from Russia. NATO's war games with Kosovo may be testing Russia's red lines, especially with the war in Ukraine still raging. In western Kosovo, NATO troops and military hardware moved in lockstep. We are talking about Defender Europe, the largest annual US-led military exercise on the continent, with 25,000 troops deployed across 18 countries. The NATO War Games, a show of power, unity, strategic alignment. This time, Kosovo hosted this crucial leg of the drills, which brought together soldiers from the US, Albania, Croatia, other NATO allies. Snipers were in camouflage, mortars were ready for launch, and soldiers demonstrated mine clearance methods, chemical decontamination, all in full gear. And it wasn't just a military exercise, it was a message, a clear one. And Kosovo, its Prime Minister made it clear, a membership in the US-led bloc is what it wants. Listen to this.
We have managed to show and demonstrate our power, our interoperability that we have with NATO, and in this way to force our cause that Kosovo's membership of NATO is not only for our benefit, but also for the contribution that we will give in the future.
But you see, that path is far from easy for Kosovo. 4 NATO members, Spain, Greece, Romania, Slovakia, still don't recognize Kosovo as an independent state. And as far as NATO membership process goes, without full consensus, there's no way in. Still, Kosovo is pushing for its prime minister. NATO membership means security, especially with tensions still simmering in the north, where Serbian communities remain defiant and sometimes violent. But here's another problem here. Kosovo's ambition to join NATO steps directly into Russia's red zone. On Wednesday, Russia's deputy foreign minister, in fact, called NATO's expanding military presence in Europe a clear preparation for war. Grushko pointed to the drills in Kosovo and the Baltics as evidence of this. He said, and I'm quoting here, "We assess NATO's military activity as part of preparations for military clashes with Russia." If we look at the focus of these exercises, the concept, the structure of the deployment of forces, the forces themselves, their quality, the tasks that are formulated for these exercises, then this is a fight against a comparable adversary. Just a little backgrounder here. Kosovo broke away from Serbia after a brutal war in the late 1990s, a conflict that ended with NATO airstrikes against Serbian forces. Since then, it's been under Western protection. In 2008, Kosovo declared independence from Serbia, but not universally accepted. Serbia, which is backed by Russia, still considers Kosovo a breakaway province. And that unresolved history makes Kosovo's NATO ambition all the more interesting and significant. So while the drills may be over, the stakes are definitely not. They're only rising. And Kosovo, once in NATO, is divided. Russia is watching very, very closely. Tragedy struck the city of Bengaluru in India. At least 11 people have died. Many have been injured after a stampede-like situation occurred outside the Chinnaswamy Stadium there. The Indian Prime Minister has called the incident heart-rending. Scores of Royal Challengers Bengaluru fans gathered outside RCB's home stadium to celebrate their team's maiden IPL title. Roads in and around the stadium were choked. Traffic police had earlier cancelled the team's victory parade, predicting traffic congestion and to avoid any mishap. But the felicitation ceremony at the team's home stadium went ahead and the situation went out of hand. Remember, this event was organized by RCB and Karnataka's Cricket Association. The overwhelming crowd led to a stampede-like situation at multiple entry points, forcing the police to intervene with a baton charge to control the surging crowds. The Karnataka Chief Minister has said around 200,000 to 300,000 people came to the stadium, which has a capacity of 35,000.
There are small gates. The people entered through the gates.
You have broken the gates.
They have broken the gates also. So stampede has taken place. Nobody has expected so much of crowd will come because the capacity of the stadium is only 35,000 people. Only 35,000 seats are there. But 2 to 3 lakh people have come to participate in the celebration.
Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also reacted to the incident. He said, and I'm quoting, "The mishap in Bengaluru is absolutely heartrending. In this tragic hour, my thoughts are with all those who have lost their loved ones. I pray that those who are injured have a speedy recovery." The BCCI secretary, meanwhile, has blamed the authorities for clear mismanagement, saying, and I'm quoting here, "When one organizes a victory celebration of this magnitude, proper precautions, safety and security measures need to be taken. There have been some lapses in some corner somewhere. Due diligence should have been done so that an incident like this could have been avoided." Our next story comes from Japan. Researchers there have developed something which could be a game changer in the fight against plastic pollution. They have developed a plastic. It's no ordinary plastic because it dissolves in seawater within hours. The thing is, scientists have long experimented with biodegradable plastics, but researchers from the Riken Center for Emergent Matter Science and the University of Tokyo say their new material breaks down much more quickly and leaves no residual trace. This is extremely significant given that the world has been dealing with the impact of plastic pollution. It's a grave threat, after all, that has surrounded us from all sides. The menace of plastics, it's a monster created by human beings that is now choking our environment. In fact, the UN Environment Programme has predicted plastic pollution is set to triple by 2040, adding 23 to 37 million metric tons of waste into the world's oceans each year. It's a wake-up call for our world, which is already seeing horrific cases of how plastic impacts marine life and how microplastics enter and impact the human body. It's a race against time, the fight against plastic pollution and to save our planet. Scientists worldwide have been working towards the goal of tackling the plastic waste crisis. Let's tell you more about what the researchers did in Japan. The team demonstrated a small piece of plastic vanishing in a container of salt water after it was stirred up for about an hour. So what next now? The team has not yet detailed any plans for commercialization. The research has naturally attracted interest, including from those in the packaging sector. The new material is as strong as petroleum-based plastics, but breaks down into its original components when exposed to salt. Those components can then be further processed by naturally occurring bacteria, thereby avoiding microplastics, generating microplastics that can actually harm aquatic life and also enter the food chain. Microplastics have been detected in water samples around the world at levels that are extremely concerning, and one estimate suggesting a rather alarming figure. The average person ingests about 4,000 plastic particles in drinking water annually. Can you believe that? This is a horror story, one of our own making. In fact, microplastics and nanoplastics, tiny bits of plastics, have been found in several parts of our body, including our brain and cardiovascular system. Research earlier found that microplastics can be passed from pregnant mothers to their unborn offspring. Marine life has been found with plastic objects suffocating them. And given the magnitude and intensity of the crisis, the question remains, can we win against the plastic monster created by us. On to India. Youngsters in India's national capital are going through a concerning crisis. They are unable to sleep for nights on end. A new study suggests 1 in 5 teenagers in Delhi experiences clinical sleep depression. The study, conducted by doctors at the Gangaram Hospital, assessed over 1,500 students from 9 educational institutes, and the revelations are startling. Students between the ages of 12 and 18 years, 12 to 18 years, 22.5% had insufficient sleep, 60% showed depressive symptoms. These are among the ones who need urgent mental health care attention. A good night's sleep can apparently make a huge difference even in mark sheets. Almost 65% also showed mild cognitive challenges due to sleep deprivation. According to the World Health Organization, sleep deprivation is a condition where one does not get enough sleep to support optimal health, alertness and functioning, and is a trouble more common than thought. In fact, excessive study-related stress, irregular routines, overexposure to screen time could be plausible causes, as it also manifests in those with certain underlying health conditions. Is a change possible is the question. Researchers think yes, via sleep counseling and allowing the young to take more of digital detoxes and nap breaks whenever feasible for a more relaxed time and relaxed mind.